Evening, folks. Brian here. Monday, May 5, 2025. Yes, I am wearing the shirt. I've covered the book of Luke. I want to say something about the book of Acts in the Bible. Before I get into it. So, as people realize, or they think, or they hear of, we're going into the end times. The ones who are not spiritually awake or motivated, but they hear about it, so they'll go straight into the book of Revelation, and they're going to leave everything else out. They're not going to realize it. And they might read, and they'll be able to get through the book of Revelation in a day, in an evening of reading. They won't spend the year before going through the entire book, scriptures, all of it. Maybe a half a year. I want to get into the book of Acts 2, verse 19. It's one of my favorites. There's different interpretations. It describes the signs in the heavens and on the earth, including blood and fire and vapors of smoke, or columns of smoke, or billows of smoke, before the coming of the Lord. It speaks of divine manifestations that will precede the Lord's arrival. It states that I will show wonders in the heavens above and signs on the earth below, blood and fire and billows of smoke. Now, from what perspective is he talking about on the earth below? Is it from God's perspective above, to show the signs below? Or does it come from below the earth? In verse 20 it continues, the sun will be turned into darkness and the moon to blood before the coming, the great and glorious day of the Lord. So is this symbolic rather than literal representations of the chaos and the turmoil that will be a part of the end times? You need to think clearly and read it slowly. But then it portrays a vision of divine displays in the sky and on the ground. It could also be signs of warfare and destruction, except it says, I, God, will show. It doesn't say what will happen. I will show these things on the earth below. And I think this is in relation to the book of Luke, chapter 21, verses 25, 26. People will be terrified that they see what will be coming upon the earth, for the powers of the heavens will be shaken. It is what they see coming upon the earth. Now, going back to the book of Acts 19, I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth below. So because he, God, will show the signs, this does not mean causing the chaos and the turmoil. That's going to be a natural response, reaction from us. Okay? That's going to be a response from us, the turmoil and the chaos and the anxiety and the perplexity, confusion of what's going to be happening. Now, be careful about cross-references in Scripture. For example, in the book of Matthew 24, verse 29, It says, immediately after the tribulation of those days, the moon will not give its light. So that is not Acts 2:19. It says the moon will turn into blood red. Like, for example, when you have mass wildfires, when the moon comes over at night, it's picking up the reflection from the mass wildfires. Blood red. As an example. So, for me, when you look at the state of the world right now and where we're going, and clearly you can see we're about to enter into the period of tribulation. And when you look at other things, the discovery and announcement of the binary system coming in, formally announced in January and December in 1983, and again in September in 1984. And when you look at how the planet is responding now to an outside perturbance, and when you understand the entire context, the entire book of all that is to happen, you can bring it all together. And I don't think you can leave it out. The binary system and the beginning of the gravitational and electromagnetic effects that it's having on our planet. And how this is described clearly in the book of Luke and the book of Acts and elsewhere. The roaring and the tossing of the seas, putting the nations in anguish and perplexity and confounded. They don't know what's going on. The ocean sloshing back and forth, the earth wobble. The earth reeling to and fro like a drunkard. Causing the ocean's inundations. Then, men's hearts failing him for fearful looking upon that which is coming upon the earth. In anticipation, and in looking for that which will be coming upon the earth, Sal. And so as the core continues to heat up, to pressurize, to expand up through the crust, like vapors or columns of smoke, Acts 2 verse 19, and blood and fire. Are you feeling the intensity now? So there can be more than one interpretation of different verses in the Bible. I want to give you my understanding of the book of Acts and how everything is just coming together. Understanding the science of what a perturber, what a gravitational and electromagnetic influence would have on our sun and on the planets, and how that gravitational tug and pull will bring the axis of the earth tilting down and then reeling to and fro like a drunkard, and the oceans sloshing around back and forth in coastal inundations, and we're going to be in anguish and perplexity. And then we're going to realize that Sal up there, we've heard about that, and we're going to see it, and hearts will fail them. I think this is going to conclude today's talk on the book of Acts. And like I said, I believe the book of Acts it falls in line with the book of Luke. All right. As well as Matthew and Mark. And the very common one that everybody should know by now. The wars and the rumors of wars and preparation for the wars the nations rising against nations, and kingdoms against kingdoms, and the great earthquakes in one place after another, and another in diverse places at the same time, as the pestilences and the famines, all coming together. That is all. As you were.